What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and this is Life Changers 18. This is going to be called Up in Smoke. The title of this is Up in Smoke. What I love about the titles of these Life Changers is that they kind of give you an insight of what it's going to be about. You know, that doesn't give you like any sort of religious kind of title. I don't recall the ones before being like that. But like Up in Smoke, the next one's going to be called Love a Thug. You know, it gives you an insight of what you're kind of reading to. It kind of intrigues you a little bit to kind of want to read it. But anyways, in Romans 13:12 it says, "Let us cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light." And so it starts out saying, "Back in the day, Mom and Dad used to have a weekly Bible study in our home. We never know who'd show up from week to week. There'd be the regulars, of course, but folks were always bringing new faces to hear the good news. One day, somebody brought two friends to the study who kind of stood out, Little B and Burley. Little B was just like his name sounded. He was a little, weary guy with a long mullet. He might have weighed 80 pounds soaking wet. By contrast, Burley, who had played college football, towered over him, standing 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighing maybe 350 pounds. Together they were like a Chihuahua and a St. Bernard standing side by side, and they were inseparable. As we got to know them, we learned that Little B was into buying, selling, and using dope. When you're running in that crowd, trouble isn't far behind. That's where Burley came in. Little B would start fights, and Burley would wade in like his bodyguard and break things up. Over time and through Little B's influence, Burley started using pot too. To say that they were unlikely candidates for a typical Bible study would be an understatement. But they kept coming back for a couple months. They had this routine where they'd roll a joint and smoke pot on the way to our meeting, and as soon as the meeting ended, they'd jump in the car and smoke another joint on their way home. They thought they were being sneaky, but pot has a unique smell that's about as hard to miss as skunk roadkill. We didn't say anything or make a big deal about their drug habit. We just loved on them and opened the Bible to them. The way we saw it, they were sinners just like everyone else. Listened to the good news that had the power to transform their lives. Then an interesting thing happened. Over time, when they'd light up a joint on the way home, they'd take fewer and fewer tokes and then chuck the pot out the window. One afternoon, after leaving the Bible study, the thrill of smoking dope completely left them. Both Little B and Burley came under conviction of God's Spirit and decided to toss out all their pot. Getting rid of their dope was their initial repentance. As the Apostle Paul says in Romans 13:12, Little B and Burley were casting off the works of darkness. After that, they both turned to God and asked to be baptized so that they could put on the armor of light. To this day, Little B is doing well in his faith, and Burley has become a regular fixture around the Robertsons' home and is a dear brother in the Lord. Alright, so what I get out of this, I don't know about you guys, but this is what I take from this. You know, these kids, they were smoking and they were still going to Bible study, still learning and listening about Jesus, but while they were doing it at the same time, they were still smoking dope and still doing the bad things they were doing. And then eventually, after continually coming to these Bible studies, they eventually stopped doing it. So it's, I guess, like, if there's like a problem in your life where you might not even be trying to stop. These guys, I don't know if they were trying to stop or not, but but the more you're around Christians, the more you separate yourself from the world things, and you listen and study the word of the Lord, the more it's gonna hit home to you, and eventually you're gonna come across something that kind of touches you at home with a problem that you have in your life, and could help you or somebody else, you know, get through that problem and stop whatever it is they're doing. Just like these guys, God presented them with something that really touched them, and all of a sudden they stopped doing the things they were doing, smoking weed and dope and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's what I take from this. I think that's what it meant. I think that's what it was talking about. If you guys have something else that you want to add, you can drop it in the comments. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. We'll get to the next one in probably another day or two. I'm planning on doing either a podcast, or there's a possibility I may be coming back to YouTube instead of doing podcasts on Spotify. I haven't decided yet, but there's always that possibility. However, I'm planning on doing either a podcast or an actual episode like I've done a couple months ago that I actually originally started doing with YouTube. I'm going to try to do one of those this week at some point. So no promises, but I'm going to try to do one. Since I finally have a whole summer to do some things that I would like to do, which are more of these videos for you guys. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe, share it with somebody, and that's going to do it till next time. See you guys next time. God bless y'all.